Happy Monday. Welcome to ATI ProMedia. I hope we're as winning as Oppenheimer was last night. I did not watch the Oscars. Did you? I went to bed early and I woke up this morning. Oppenheimer, amazing movie. It's one of those movies I think you have to watch twice. If you think America and the world is messed up now, go watch that movie and understand where we were. If you study a little history, you might understand the future. Well, the future doesn't look good for wheat exports. China, hello, cancel. China has officially canceled 1/3 of the wheat they bought. Thank you, China. You're a shitty trading partner to the United States, and that goes without saying. I feel very Trumpish. Speaking of Trump, he was on CNBC this morning. So President Trump, ex-President Trump, 45th President of the United States, is back in the grace of all the networks as he starts making the circuits. Get ready for political madness here in 2024. It's going to affect your farm, your kids in the future. Not too pumped up about either of our choices. I'll leave that at that. Speaking of pumped up, Bitcoin, all-time highs, and I don't own any. Also, last week, NVIDIA on Friday pulled an up 5%, down 5%. Lots of things going on in the outside markets. NASDAQ currently on the lows, down 140. I don't know how to put this in perspective, but NVIDIA as a stock had picked up $1 trillion. So you got a million, you got a billion, and you got 999 billion in a trillion. NVIDIA picked that up in market cap in 2024. Feels a little bubblish. Time will tell. Connor B, welcome to the show. Break it down. How is our trading partner, China? Are they a good friend of the show?
They are big surprise, Tommy. They're about as unpredictable as they've always been. Pull that up, headline. Pull that headline up, Joe. 3 days in a row, we've seen cancellation of wheat. This time, 264,000 metric ton of 23-24 wheat canceled to China, right? And so total, our research team, they added that up for us. So roughly the wheat they have on the books, they've now canceled how much, Tommy? 36%?
Yeah, we'll call it 1/3 for simple math. You want the good news,
1/3.
folks? The market's closed at 7:45. We go on what's called a biscuit break, and we close from 7:45 to 8:30. Then we open up, and we opened up lower, and everything's coming back. No, beans are up on the day. Corn's only down a few. Wheat's bounced 5 to 6 cents. So when a market can take negative news, digest it, and trade higher, it's a very positive sign. So yes, we could be doom and gloom that China canceled wheat, or we could say, wow, did the markets take that news, digest it well? It's not as important where we open as where we close.
You know, the other thing, Tommy, on China, Friday we had the USDA reports where we saw the USDA diverge from what China says they're importing versus what we're saying they're shipping. The number isn't even close. I don't have that handy. We'll have to pull that up tomorrow. But just further testament to China as a trade partner is very unreliable.
Yeah. And of course, we have to go around in our speeches this year and tell people that America's in second place. Brazil, Argentina, and those countries have really womped on us. Hey, speaking of boots on the ground, I understand our own Cesar is down in South America right now. What do you know about that?
Yeah, he sent us a few charts last night, and then he sent us a video. We'll have to pull that up, just showing us he was in a soybean field. It looks similar but different to soybean fields here, right? A lot more rolling. I didn't recognize the tree. It definitely wasn't a hedgerow that I'm used to seeing, but we'll be in contact with him. I think he's down there all week, Tommy. So interesting to see tidbits he brings back and stuff he's going to send us this week.
It'd be fun to if you could do a little something with them, and
Definitely.
that'd be fun. All right, you have some charts. Let's get into that, and then after that, we have to talk about no beans. They've rallied a lot more than maybe people think. We have to lower people's expectations. Bring the charts on the show, Joe. See what we have.
Pull them up. First one, commitment COT report Friday, and as we've seen it on soybeans, 16 sessions, 16 weeks in a row, we've seen the funds be seller of soybeans. That's a record, Tommy, and now we are officially corn. We've been in a record short position. Now soybeans have joined them. We are in a record soybean short, breaking that record short of 2019, I believe. And I saw a stat. Reuters said the last time we saw this 16 weeks in a row of the funds selling soybeans, 2018, when we had that trade embargo, right along the lines of start talking about Donald Trump. So very bearish position, but soybeans closed on the week last week, Tommy. We closed up. So again, another testament to what you said about taking negative news and rolling with it. So same thing on the corn, right? We've bounced a little bit and we've kind of maintained that. Still a very bearish position, especially when we look at 22 and 23 on the fund positioning.
Yeah. And anyone who's short futures and options every week for 16 weeks, we would say like, oh, if you're short, every single one of them's in the money. That's no longer true. So if you initiated a short around March options expiration or first notice day, in some of those cases, those would be 30, 40 cents against you in no beans. We'd now be about 15, 20 cents against you in corn. So we can no longer sit out there and say all that short position's just sitting there in the money. If we had, for whatever catalyst or reason, if we had an explosive move up, we could come to a point in a week where we could almost figure out, hey, half those shorts are a small loss or a scratch now. And then if we really accelerate it up, which could happen, crazy things have happened, then we could say, wow, the funds had that giant short, they had all the money into it, and they didn't cover. And as the trend lines change, last week we crossed above the 21-day line, the market starts to get panicked. So if I was short and I had watched beans be as low as they were, and now they're up one, and corn was as low as it was, and wheat's coming to unchanged, only down a couple, I'd be saying, how am I going to buy 300,000 market, right? When some days it's hard to buy 30 at the market. So to the farmer out there, if you got stopped out or had to deliver your grain for that March time period, that game's over. But last week, Dave Lechtenberg did that reason on the 4 phases on ATI ProMedia Premium. Dave Lechtenberg broke it down, the 4 phases of why we still keep ownership into planting and then through volatile summer season. So something to think about. What else do we have for charts?
Here, real quick, looking down at South America, Mato Grosso crop progress. We'll keep this short and sweet because we do have a CONAB. When's that CONAB report out, Tommy? It's this week. I think is it tomorrow or Wednesday?
I didn't know there'd be a test. It's Monday. I'm only on my second cup of coffee. Please stand by. We'll find that out.
I couldn't remember either. It's
Yeah,
early this week.
that's something
I
I'd
believe.
do to
If I'm
you.
wrong,
That's something I'd do to you.
But anyway, looking Mato Grosso, right? That's their big corn soybean producing state, and they harvest progress on soybeans. They are right in line with that 5-year average, 23, 24, looking at 90% harvested. Last year they were closer to like a 94, right? So they're rocking and rolling, looking good there. And then same thing on corn planting, right? We're looking at a 90% planted on the corn crop. So soybean harvest is wrapping up in Brazil and Mato Grosso. Corn planting it went in very well. They've had very favorable weather conditions, but we've got a long way to go before that crop is made.
Yeah. Real quick, let me pop in my chart, Joe. Go ahead and pop that in. Let's look at Nove soybeans. Nove 24 soybeans. I'm going to tell you something. They've rallied 50 cents. And in 2024, that's a big deal. So for all the people who are running around saying the only way to get these markets to go up is for the American farmer not to plant, call me, email me, text me. Who out there is not going to plant? Who's going to say, nah, just going to not plant? I'm sure greed would get the best of all of you and at least rent out your land. You may rent out your land to someone else to lose money on it, but you're not going to not plant. Someone's going to farm every farmable acre unless Mother Nature raises her hand and gets large and in charge. So soybeans up 50 cents. Absolutely getting to a level that I'm willing to protect. $12 will definitely get soybeans trading. It'll get the short scared and it will get the it'll get the farmer hedged. I just actually got filled. I was long a little bit of corn right before we started the show. So corn's rallying, beans are rallying. That's a good sign. One question real quick, then we'll talk about ATI ProMedia Premium. Joe, you want to bring in that question? How concerned? Go ahead.
Okay.
How concerned should we be? No, you go ahead.
Should we be about 34 trillion American debt as the price of the dollar falls? Grains normally go up.
Farmer Brett, you should worry about your own debt, like they said in all the sayings. Best to worry about yourself. When your problems are all taken care of, then you could start worrying about the American, the whole government's debt. So worry about yourself, and I mean that because I like you. Okay.
Wait.
Yes,
Tommy,
sir.
we got another one. I do love this comment, Farmer Brett. GameStop style squeeze on corn sounds great to me. Only problem is when they were buying GameStop. What was that trading at, Tommy? $30 a share. You could get on Robinhood and do it. 5,000 bushel increments on corn makes the barrier entry a little bit harder, but it sounds good to me. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, real quick about that. I could add a little color to that. When I did that meeting out in Northwest Ohio, I had a farmer come up to me, told me he's been scalping NVIDIA. Great. We asked him what he had sold for old crop corn. He had a lot of old crop corn to sell, and he had zero 2024 crop sold. So there's farmers out there buying NVIDIA, making good money because they love things that go up. And that would explain why they get so screwed up on selling the crop, because buying NVIDIA or pulling a Warren Buffett and buying and holding, Warren Buffett literally owns stocks in things that he bought 50 years ago, and grains don't work like that. So if you're a buy the dip in NVIDIA and bragging you killed it, it would make sense why you forgot to sell your corn and beans, because that style trade is grooming you to be a bad hedger. Real quick, want to talk about premium content. We are live, up and going. We had Randy on from Red River Farm Network Friday, and Red River Farm Network, Randy Conan and Don Wick rotate on that. Typically, we talk about markets and politics, but Randy and I had an interesting conversation about life after farming. The 80s got the best of Randy, and he moved on, and we talked about some deep stuff. We talked about farmer suicide and how music actually helped him get through. So there's a lot more going on than farming. If the price of corn, beans, or wheat is determining your mood, you already have a problem. But you should be in a good mood because we're turning back up. All right, how do people get a hold of us?
Yeah, give us a call, 855-737-FARM. Send us an email if you got any questions or anything. You know, we're making a lot of marketing decisions. Send us an email, ask us a question, or feel free to always chime in on the live show. We'll be doing this every day, and we will, I think with that, Tommy, we will see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I hate to end the show. 57 people watching live, but we need to continue filming premium content, and we need to get to work. See ya, buddy.
See ya.
I hit the wrong button.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.